Well, hey, everybody. Welcome into TexAgs Rewind presented by Yeti. I'm David Nuño. Nick Savage is the director that takes care of all the real business here on the show. Nick, I predicted, let me rephrase this. I don't want to say the word I predict A&M to lose, but when we did pick 6, I'm like, I got to... Sorry?
You picked them to lose.
Yeah, but I don't want to say it out loud like that. I wanted to say more like I want for A&M to prove to me they know how to win on the road. So I turn the tables on you. What do you think is going to happen this weekend?
Thank you. I was going to say, can I pick it even though people don't come here for my opinion?
4 people do.
I think that A&M, like you just said, has to show us they can win on the road before anyone can confidently pick them to go out there and win. So I think Ole Miss takes it. I'll even give you a score, 31-20. Ole Miss.
That would really bug me. Trust me, I want to see them win, and I know that people don't want to hear bad news, but once they prove it to me, I think I might be all in. And Billy said at the end of the show today that if they beat Ole Miss on the road, he thinks they'll beat LSU, and I think I'm on the same place. They just got to do it once. And the slide. We had Billy in studio. We had the Final Countdown folks in the studio, Steve and Seth McKinney. We had our pick 6, which wasn't good for me, but a lot of others, Billy and myself, were the only ones that were a little bit negative on it. The rest were very positive. And, of course, the OB-ster. I was going to call him the great OB, but just OB. OB joined us on the Go Hour. That and more is TexAgs Rewind.
Let's talk about pop music. No, let's talk about one we've already started with.
Okay.
Jackson Dart versus the Spy. I still have...
Do you want Edge to be your spy?
No, you know what? I want Edge to be my spy.
You do?
I want Bryce Anderson to be the spy.
You want it to switch.
I want it to switch. I don't want Jackson Dart to ever know who the spy is. Because when
confuse him.
Yeah, confuse him, man. Use different guys. Sometimes it can be DeBerry, whoever. But always have somebody, because that pass rush is going to get to him. He is going to be sacked.
Yep.
But there are going to be times, and maybe at a key juncture like it was last year when he escaped from the end zone, and instead of getting the ball on their side of the 50 after a punt, they turned it into a touchdown. He's going to escape some. Have somebody waiting on him when he does so he can't turn it into a big play.
Do you beat Ole Miss if they rush for 180 yards, but Jackson Dart is in the negative category because of all the times he gets sacked?
Well, I don't know, because, all the sack yardage goes against rushing yardage.
Yep. So that means if they got 180, they got like more.
Right. So if you had 40 yards of sack, 220. But since you brought that up, how about that A&M run defense against Jackson Dart and Quinshon Junkins and what's the kid from SMU, Ulysses S. Grant? Butler. Ulysses Butler, I think his name is. Bentley. Bentley.
Ulysses Bentley. Yeah.
Ulysses.
Yeah, from SMU. Is Bentley.
USMU.
Yeah.
Anyway, A&M, I think that's the number one key of the game, is what is A&M's run defense going to do against that rushing offense of Ole Miss. Ole Miss needs to run the ball to be successful.
What's been the most impressive A&M win this year?
She's laughing over it. Most impressive A&M win this year.
Considering the caliber of opponent. You hate this question. I can see it in your face.
Well, because it's like everyone knows the answer.
Well, is it Auburn?
Nothing's been impressive, but
Auburn's a team that feels like they're...
Yeah, but sure. Because it's damn sure in Arkansas. At the time, it felt like Arkansas.
I think the Arkansas team you played is not the same team that they are now.
Yeah, I do. I heard you yesterday, and I agree. I think A&M broke them with that, or exposed them, whichever way you want to look at it. But there hadn't been very much impressive. So if you want to go through an entire year without doing anything that matters on the football field, then don't win tomorrow in Oxford and don't beat LSU in Baton Rouge. Then you will have gone through without knocking off a ranked team. You'll be 0-for. And you go 4-4 in the conference, where you beat 4 teams that are going to struggle. I don't know. You might beat 4 teams in conference that are going to struggle to be bowl eligible. I know Arkansas and South Carolina certainly are. Mississippi State's trending that way in the last couple. So. But is Auburn going to trend up and up? So nothing you will have done none of that would qualify as impressive. And it would, I don't think it's a word, but I would call it depressive. So, but
Ole Miss is going to be, at the end of the year,
Yeah.
they're going to be a ranked team regardless.
yeah, they'll probably lose to Georgia, and if you beat them, they'll probably finish 9-3.
Yep.
And they might be a 10-win team when all is said and done if you beat them. If you beat LSU, LSU is an interesting one, right? Because they're flying high right now, and they very well might go beat Bama. But if they don't,
3 losses.
and you're doing this, well, A&M beat them. If they don't and A&M beats them, that's 4 losses. Last year they lost 3. That people have thrown in the towel completely on this team, and nationally, but also within the fan base. And I understand why, because there's an emotional level, and it gets even more frustrating when you watch the last 2 losses and know how they were there for, I wouldn't say easily, but they were both so much there for the taking. And because of their own mistakes, time and time again, A&M just couldn't take it. And so at some point, as a fan, you just go, I've thrown in the towel. This is not.
You don't want to get too emotionally invested.
This team is the team we think it is.
But so yes and no.
That's what they're thinking.
But they're right. But no, they are what we think it is. But what we've seen and what they've told us is that they are more than good enough. And I don't just mean talent. I even mean in performance. To be able to go out there and beat an Alabama, to be able to go out there and beat a Tennessee, to pretty easily and comfortably handle the lesser teams in the conference. So far, South Carolina, Auburn, and Arkansas. And that probably will include Mississippi State. I don't want to count chickens, but that's what they are. And they're good enough, even with the mistakes and the shortcomings and the O-line and a backup quarterback and, suspect corner, where they're susceptible out there. Even with all that, they've shown us they're good enough that they could beat a Bama or Tennessee, and they could be sitting at 4-1 or 5-0 in the SEC right now that easily. I'm not saying that they should be or that I'm not, but I'm saying what they are is that. So that team is certainly good enough to go into Oxford and have a real shot to win tomorrow.
Yeah,
if they play like they've been.
I agree with you. So Miami beat us. Like I don't see a world in which we beat Miami.
No, that was.
But 100%, I see a world where we beat Bama and Tennessee.
Yeah,
but we didn't.
Let's go to the last one. It's the big one.
The last one is Texas A&M at number 10. Ole Miss. Ole Miss is favored by 3.5.
I'm going
to do the obvious thing, and I'm going to pick A&M here. I feel like I think we're going to put this together.
It is obvious coming from you.
That's what I meant. Obvious coming from me. That we're going to put it together. I think that hopefully, you got to hope, right? That's why you're a fan and all that stuff. You hope that they put this together. You hope that they've tightened up the offensive line. You hope they've dialed in some plays to get rid of the ball quicker. And I think that if we did those things and our defense just does what they do, we're going to win this game. A&M covers. Boom.
I'm going to
wins. Sorry.
Wins.
Chisholm cover.
He clarified that. Thank you. I'm going to pick A&M to win also.
All right.
Because, frankly, if they don't win,
you don't want to live in that world.
I don't want to live in a world where they lose to Ole Miss 3 times in a row.
No.
So I have to pick them to win and I don't care if they lose, then I want to lose the game and the record, and I don't want to be in competition for the pick 6. I'd rather just lose outright at that point.
I'm going to go. I'm going to say this. Until proven otherwise, I think A&M going on the road against a better team is they're just living there. They're just begging to lose a close game, like they did Alabama, like they did Tennessee. Until I see otherwise,
that's valid.
This will be the first game I don't pick the Aggies in. But I feel good enough about their chances that if you're giving me 3.5 points, I think if A&M loses, it's like last year, 31-28, 27-24. I don't think it's as low as 24-21. Maybe it's 31-27 Ole Miss and you lose that 3.5. But if you give me that 3.5, I'm going to take A&M because I do think there's a real chance they win this game.
Nick, anybody around you that wants to tell us what to do?
I don't know. Hannah. What do you do at the end of a YouTube video?
Well, you first have to like it, but you do that while you're watching. And then once you like it, you have to comment that you liked it. And then you subscribe. And
she's not very good at following it.
And then you watch every show for the rest of forever.
Nick, true story. I used to do a bit with athletes where I'd do the moving microphone.
Oh, I know. You've told me.
I've told you.
It's a good one. Yeah.
So much fun. I'm glad you brought that back, Nick. And gig 'em. Hopefully we'll get a road victory. And we'll see you tomorrow on the post-game wrap. See you then.